Yes. So we're both sweating. It's nice and humid
It's very
today.
hot.
Um,
It's early too. It's
yeah.
so hot.
So yesterday at the gym, I had something on my program which you know about, which scared me, and it was some deadlifts with dumbbells, and I think it's so I didn't do the full routine. I texted you back and forth, and I have a family history of back trouble. In fact, my dad, I told you this in my text yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
My dad, on more than one occasion, who, by the way, ended up having a triple fusion when I was 15 years old, he said that until the moment when he hurt his back, he was probably in his late 30s, he felt that he could do anything in life, in his life, with the world. And after that, he never felt that way again. He had he was laid up several times when I was a kid, like for a month, where he'd just be on his back. I don't think they knew anything about chiropractic in those days among the people that my parents knew.
Mm-hmm.
They had no access to a lot of the stuff that has helped me over the years. But long story short, any tiny inability to feel 100% solid in that kind of exercise tends to put me into an emotional tailspin where I get scared. What are your thoughts?
Well, that's a lot of the programming that I've done for you, and a lot of the stuff we work on is to get rid of that, the aversion to physical sensation.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like it's not only to understand that not only is your back probably not going to hurt,
Mm-hmm.
but to also understand that if you do hurt your back, that's fine too.
Uh-huh.
Right? Like it doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
It only matters if you let it cripple you. But your back can hurt,
Mm-hmm.
just like any other part of your body can hurt.
Mm-hmm.
There's this thing, people like, somehow it's been ingrained in people that it's like there are no muscles in their back. It's just like a bunch of sacred structures around the spine that can't be touched.
Right.
But it's a bunch of muscles also, like everywhere else. But nobody freaks out when their quads are sore.
Right.
But people lose their shit when their lower back is sore.
Right.
But it's just more stuff that needs to break down and then get stronger to create more adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
There's just this thing about the back.
Right.
Probably because it's so important for movement that what happens if someone gets hurt and then the treatment is lock them up in a brace or something and have them not move.
Right.
Or inject some stuff so that it stops hurting so that they can keep moving shitty.
Mm-hmm.
Both of which are horrible ideas.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always a horrible idea to inject something. I'm not saying that. But it can be. Because an injection doesn't teach you how to move.
Right.
So the point is, the idea is to understand that it doesn't really matter if you hurt your back. You can just fix it.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you approach it the right way and treat it appropriately.
Right.
So a lot of the that's not to say the point that I'm trying to get is to have you hurt your back. That's definitely not the point.
Right.
But it is important to understand that if it does hurt, that's fine. Just like if anything else hurts, it's fine.
Right.
If you remember, your back hurt for a week.
About
like a year ago.
Right, a year ago. Maybe 10 months ago.
And then it was fine.
Right.
Right? So it doesn't really matter. Nothing happened.
Right.
It just hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a sensation.
Right.
Now, if you let it destroy you, it can become a chronic thing that then ruins your life.
Right.
But it certainly doesn't need to be that. Just like any other part of your body getting hurt, it doesn't need to really have any sort of profound emotional impact.
Right.
But simply saying that obviously doesn't do anything. You gotta train that emotional reflex out.
Right. I think, hearing this helps me. Because yes, you have definitely taught me, especially in our most recent chapter of working together, let's say for the last 2 months,
Mm-hmm.
that certain kinds of discomfort are a necessary adaptation or transition to a new level of ability.
Definitely.
So, but that only works if I can wrap my mind around that in the moment.
Well, sure, yeah, you have to experience it.
And I
In
have
order
to
for that to-
remember what it's for.
Right.
In other words, there are certain tests that I'm not, at least as of yesterday at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I wasn't necessarily, I got frightened. And to be
Yeah.
frightened is not a good thing.
Right.
Because that, no matter what anyone says about the mechanics, the emotional state can attract dire consequences.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing. And then the other thing to remember, I'm sure you know this, is that the number one, before modern anesthesia, the number one reason for suicide was back pain.
I don't know if I knew that.
Yeah, that apparently is a thing, and up until the end of the 19th or beginning of the 20th century, the number one reason for suicide was back pain.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's really odd.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds odd.
Well, we're in a different time in history now, so
So
many
that was
things.
how. That was when?
Well,
Before anesthesia.
yeah.
So
Or-
like a
or-
very long time ago.
3 generations.
Well, no, anesthesia's been around for a long time.
Yeah, but access to anesthesia has not. I mean, 3 generations ago,
guess.
95% of the people lived not in urban centers,
Right.
not with
Okay.
access.
So
to
you're
that.
saying like of often used like general anesthesia.
I don't
opposed
know
to,
the
like-
specifics. All I know is that back trouble was something that society had no understanding of how to help for many hundreds of years, and it was a known huge risk factor for a major risk factor for suicide because people had no recourse in the Western world that we know of.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
So,
We'll take care of your back. That's a good lesson.
yeah, I mean,
But do that not by protecting it from everything.
right. Okay. To be continued? All right.